Welcome back to your Fantasy Football Buddies. I'm Steven Miranda.
I'm Jeff Ellis. It's July 21st, 2001 and 2011. Where did the decade go? And we're your Fantasy Football Buddies. We're here to get you up to speed with the 2011 Fantasy Football season.
I would like to be 10 years younger. Let's not do that.
We won't go there.
We're going to start off with a little bit of a segment that we call Fantasy Football for James.
Fantasy Football for James?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, that's Fantasy Football for newbies.
Now, James is that guy that joins your league who's never played before. He's from accounting, and he's nice enough, and you want him in your league. However, you're pretty sure that you're going to be hearing championship out of him far too often. So you want to make sure you address that. James is actually our video guy, and he's never played fantasy football, and so we thought we would do these videos as a quick way to get him up to speed. And we thought we'd start with the types of fantasy football right after this.
Okay, the first type of fantasy football is a redrafter league. This is the standard league. It's the most popular type of fantasy football that is available out there today. Basically, at the beginning of every season, all teams, all owners get together and they redraft their league. They take the players one by one in a kind of serpentine format, 1 through 12, and then 12 back up to 1. That's the regular league, Jeff.
Next, you have an auction league. In an auction league, each player is basically put up for auction. Instead of all the players being made available all at once, a player's put up for Adrian Peterson is now up for auction, and the bidding starts, and you have a salary cap of, say, $300. The bidding gets up, and you might try and fake people out that you really want him, and you get the bidding for him up to $50, and now a team has spent most of its money on one guy. Big mistake.
$50.
Auction leagues.
Peterson.
Lots of fun.
All right, there's the hardcore fantasy football players play dynasty leagues. Those dynasty leagues, Jeffrey, basically is where there's a draft once at the beginning of the start of the league. Then you keep those players until you either trade them or release them. At the start of every season, the owners only draft rookies, Jeffrey.
Then you have a keeper league, and a keeper league is different than a dynasty league in that instead of having an entire team that stays with you from year to year, you're allowed, based on your team's rules, 2 or 3, maybe 4 players that stay with you from year to year, and they don't stay every year, but for that year, you're allowed to keep them, and those are keeper leagues.
That's right, keeper leagues. Then there's the IDP leagues, the individual defensive player leagues. That means you're not only drafting offensive players, but defensive players as well in every position.
Then the one I hate the most, Survivor League. Why? Because I've had some bad experiences with Survivor
Jeff's
League.
Usually out in like week 1 or week 2.
Basically, people, usually there's a pot going on with some money involved. And so you have your scoring system allowed, and whoever it is that's playing each other that week, out of all the leagues all the teams in the league, whoever comes in with the lowest point total that week gets eliminated.
You're gone for the week.
You're gone.
And Jeffrey normally goes out
week
early.
1. Thanks. That was fun.
So there you go, James. Basically, when someone asks you what kind of a league do you want to play in, now you know what leagues you're talking.
And there's also PPR leagues where you get points for a catch. There's flex position leagues where you can have 3 wide receivers or 2 wide receivers and a tight end or a running back. It's great.
All right. Well, before we leave you today with
Fantasy
Football
Buddies,
Buddies, we're going to give you our top 10 quarterbacks for 2011.
All right. First off, we've got the gold standard, if you ask me, for quarterbacks, Peyton Manning. Now, a lot of people say he's getting older, he's banged up, he's coming off the neck surgery. What can I really expect?
You can expect about another 40 touchdowns.
He's still Peyton Manning, no matter whom they throw out there at wide receiver. Trust me, Peyton takes them aside, they say goodbye to their families, and they become a stud wide receiver.
Peyton makes them look good. Number 2, we've got Phillip Rivers, quarterback of the San Diego Chargers. Phillip put up some huge numbers last year, and it didn't matter. He was throwing to some pizza delivery guys, and he's put up some big numbers.
Phillip don't care. Tom Brady comes next. Why not? Because he's Tom Brady, friends.
He still manages to put up over 40 touchdowns as well. Then we've got Super Bowl quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Jeff.
Super Bowl MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And he's only getting better. More guys back. He's got his tight end back this year. Look out.
Jeff and I agreed injury prone, so that's why he was at number 4. Otherwise, could have been a little bit higher, but he's a good one to have.
Drew Brees comes up next. New Orleans Saints. He can hit any one of 15 guys on any given Sunday. So that's one of the reasons that he is always viable for me.
At 6, we have Cowboy quarterback Tony Romo, who last year suffered an injury. Otherwise, his numbers would have been just up there where they've been for the 3 seasons that he's been the starter. If you do pick up Romo, though, You have to be careful that he doesn't get injured and make sure you have a solid backup.
That's right. Matt Schaub comes in next. And speaking of injury prone, last year was the first season he made it full without injury, and you saw the numbers he put up there were ridiculous.
All right, after Matt, we have Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben missed 4 weeks last season, and he still was able to pull up some solid numbers this year with a full season under the belt and the wide receiver talent that's coming into Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger will be a good quarterback to have.
Last couple we got Mike Vick and Matty Ice. Mike Vick, people say, why not hire? Because, look, the fact is he played a lot last year, but he's going to get hurt at some point. It's inevitable. Matty Ice, he's still young. We got some things to see.
Matt Ryan, but the addition of Julio Jones does make Matt Ryan my kind of like nice quarterback to have.
He's a good sleeper.
Someone that you could get in the middle rounds there. People are snatching up the good quarterbacks. You take Matt Ryan in the 5th or 6th round, you'll be doing okay for yourself.
That's what we got for today. Go out to the website, NFLRNR.com, and out there you can have a full list of all of our quarterbacks and all the position players.
Running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Sorry, people, we don't do kickers.
We don't do kickers because who cares? And that's it for all we got for today.
I'm
your
Steven
fantasy
Miranda.
football buddy, Jeff Ellis here.
Fantasy football buddies, we're out.
6:17. Good enough. Way better.